Berikut wawancara eksklusif kami, Andini Effendi dengan Allan Nairn.
What was the purpose of the interview back in 2001?
I was investigating some recent murders that apparently involved the army. So I wanted.
This is in Timor, yeah?
No, not in Timor. These were not murders. These murders happened elsewhere in Indonesia.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask Prabowo if he would give any inside information about those murders. So that's why I offered him the anonymity.
You mentioned in your blog, you mentioned a lot of information were disclosed during off-the-record conversations. How did you two get in deep conversations about sensitive issues, I must say? How did that happen?
Well, we spoke for almost 4 hours. Prabowo said he did not know about those particular murders, but then he started talking about other topics. He said that Indonesia is not ready for democracy. Indonesia needs a benign authoritarian regime. He said, he talked about.
They said that we need dictatorship.
Well, he said a benign authoritarian regime.
All right.
And then he talked about his admiration for General Pervez Musharraf of Pakistan, the military dictator of Pakistan. He said, Prabowo asked, do I have the guts to be called a fascist dictator? Musharraf had the guts.
Right.
And he also started ranting about Gus Dur, who was president at that time.
Right.
Prabowo said, the army even obeys a blind president. Imagine. Look at other countries. Tony Blair, Bush, Putin, Young, Ganteng, and we have a blind man. It's embarrassing.
But this is off the record.
He was speaking off the record, but I decided to open up what he said because Prabowo now has a chance to become president of Indonesia, and I feel that the Rakyat Indonesia have the right to hear the facts about him.
It sounded that he was upset during that interview.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes he became emotional. The main topics on which he became emotional were, one, democracy, fascism, and Gus Dur. He was very animated, sometimes angry when talking about that. And second, when he talked about his relationship to America. In my new blog article, the second one, I talk about how Prabowo told me about how for many years he worked with American intelligence, how he worked with American special forces, and how Prabowo even brought armed American troops into Indonesia. And Prabowo told me that the American troops who came here used that opportunity to make what he described as the contingency plan for an American invasion of Indonesia, should they decide to do that in the future. And what Prabowo told me is verified by internal Pentagon documents.
As I was saying, this is like an off-the-record conversation, and you finally choose to share it to us while he is running for the president.
Right.
What made you think that this is important for us to know about who he is?
Because he is on the verge of assuming state power in Indonesia. He will be in command of the army. He will have the power to kill people through the aparat of Indonesia. And there is no one else, as far as I know, in Indonesia who has killed as many civilians as General